All right, so welcome everyone to another very intimate episode of BBM, Black Baby Moms. I'm your host, Margie, and I'm really excited to go ahead and talk about some topics that I haven't really opened up more about on this episode. So let's just dive right into it. Disclaimer, I'm not really going to be talking a whole bunch of shit, no bashing, none of that on this episode. However, I do want to talk more transparent and be more transparent and open. And so this episode is called Control. And I want to talk about, what it means to be in a controlled like society and also to be controlled by another person and what it's like to be around controlling people because I have some experience with all of those things, and maybe some of y'all do too. So I feel like we should just talk about it. And it's just me. I want to give my perspective, my opinion, and just share my experience. And so I like looking up this definition because it kind of tells me what direction I'm going in, and am I talking about the right things? So, control. I looked the word up. The definition says here the power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of events. An example is the whole operation is under the control of a production manager. I don't even know what that means. So, the next definition says a group or individual used as a standard of comparison for checking the results of a survey or experiment. All right. So it seems like the synonyms here are like power, dominance, command. Oof. That to me is hitting it right on the nail because that's what I have dealt with before from some people who really like to be in control. And I don't mean like your boss or like my manager. Don't go on a job be like, I'm taking my control. Like, no. Okay, there's certain things at work. They have to like tell you the training and like how to do it step by step. And so you kind of have to follow their rules and the way they do it. That's fine. I'm not talking about that necessarily. I'm more so talking about like a person that really feels uneasy when they tell you what to do and you may not do it right then and there or something like that. Or just a person who feels like, they have to be the one to demand you around or command you around. And if they aren't the one in control or have the power or authority, it's like they really feel like something's wrong, something's off. To me, that's just like, it's not fair. It's not fair on the receiving end because I don't know. I can only speak on like what I've felt, which is I have my own mind, I have my own body, I have my own like thoughts and things like that. And it's for a reason. It's because I'm my own person and I don't want to be controlled. I think there's a difference in like couples that are married, and things like that. You are a unit, you're a team. I've seen it. My grandparents are all about like they're one, but they also have respect for each other where it's like different opinions, views, things like that. They can bring together and talk about it and it's okay. It's not like a huge thing. That's one thing where it's like, okay, it's not like you guys are controlling one another, but you're a team and you have to respect both of your views. That's in marriage, I guess. But for like another just person in your circle or something like that, that literally has to be the one to be always like feeling so powerful. To me, that's just like something seems off, something is wrong. Like you don't have to be the one to dictate everyone around or command everyone around. It's like you're not God. All right, people are allowed to do the things that they want to do and how they want to do it, and it's okay. It doesn't mean that your idea is less than or you're not as respected or whatever the case may be. Whatever that feeling that a control freak feels when they're not being, the one in control. I don't know what that feeling is. but it's definitely there. And I can even talk on just me. I used to be like somebody who used to like control like dating or how a man responded to me, or control this, that, and a third. And if it wasn't my way, I would be stressed out. But I'm learning and have gotten better with it, where it's like, that only hurts me ultimately. Like, it just was driving me crazy more than anybody else. And so I've decided that it's not worth it. It's just like, I can only control what I can control and respond and react the best way that I want to react, to keep myself together. And if they don't, if another person doesn't want to do it exactly how I want to do it, okay, that's fine. That's how they are. That's what they want to do. I'm not God. So I really actually love the differences and stuff like that, because it really is just, that's what the world is about. People having different views and backgrounds and all that stuff. And then we talk about it, and that's cool. I don't think controlling people is the answer. I don't feel like you should be the one dictating and demanding or commanding other people around. If they're not your children, why are you doing that? Why? And so, control can be other than just someone trying to control you, like not just your partner trying to control you around or whatever the case may be. But I feel like the government controls us. Like, flipping the switch a little bit, the government controls, okay, your economic status. Financially, the government is controlling us, the job market, and even like the food industry. I just saw this documentary that was so powerful, and I really encourage y'all to watch it if you're into documentaries and stuff. It was called They're Trying to Kill Us. But I'm really into eating healthy and exercising and just keeping your mind, your body, and your spirit all right. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I really I'm into it. And so I really read and watched that documentary about how the food market is controlling other aspects of your life, even down to like your mental and how you think, because of the food that you put in your body. So the government controls you by, okay, if you're low income, you have access to only certain things, and it's probably not the best food sources, versus other areas may have better readily available sources, just based on your economic status or your educational status or things of that nature. And so the government is absolutely controlling us. That's just how I feel. That's just my opinion, and what my experience has been. And it's not always a good feeling, but it's just where we're at. I don't know where to go from here with that, because I feel like, it's not the first time that we've been controlled by the government, or even going back to my last episode, which is exposure. If you haven't heard that, make sure you run that back, where I'm talking about Gigi's school and the whole situation of it being shut down because of COVID-19, just her particular school. And, it's out of my hands. And that it's not that it's anybody at fault. And I've said this before, but these are very true and real, valid feelings about the situation. And that's just what it is. I am learning to be more flexible. And that's also what I want to talk about, which is flexibility. It's like, you just have to be able to go with the flow and not be a control freak. I used to, like I said, be somebody who was like, you didn't respond the way I wanted you to respond or whatever. But now I'm more like open-minded. People are allowed to feel how they want to feel, and it's okay. Maybe different from me, totally fine. I'm okay with that. And I looked up the definition of like flexibility too. And it says here, the quality of bending easily without break. Okay, so no, that's pertaining to like exercise and stuff. I'm more so talking about like life flexibility. So the ability, it says here, the ability to be easily modified, or willingness to change or compromise. I love that, because I'm going to just like soak that in for a second, because I need to be able to modify my schedule if things go awry, out of my regularly planned schedule. You know, that whole saying, you can make many plans, but God laughs. To me, that means like you can plan X, Y, and Z, but God is in control, so it's his say so at the end of the day. And so with G School, for example, again, it's out of my hands, and I'm just trying to be more flexible with the schedule changes with work or with how we handle things in the home. And so I'm just trying to encourage some of y'all that may have been like me, that were very, I guess, rigid in our ways. It's okay to be flexible, be modifying your schedule. Okay, for example, it's snowing right now. If you're in Maryland, DMV area, you know the weather has been getting crazy and cold, very cold. And so I may not be able to do some of the things that I needed to get done today, running around, errands, all that stuff. So I'm gonna just do some stuff inside that I needed to get done. And that's just what it is. I don't have any control over the weather. I can't be out there right now. It's dangerous. So I'm gonna do what I can do inside that I normally, I usually don't get the time to do it. Checking off some of the things on my list to do indoors. Just changing what I usually would be doing and being more willing to modify my schedule. And if you can do that, I feel like you'll be really like in a good place, because it's helped me, honestly, because I stopped being so like stressed out and really like headaches, because I'm like trying to control this person and this situation and this place, and it's out of my hands. Certain things are just out of my hands. Now, on the flip side, it's kind of like, I'm very intentional about certain things in like my home. I do like a clean home. I like the dishes to be done, the bathroom to be clean. These are just things I do like to have control over inside of my home specifically. And so I strive after that. And I'm deliberate about, certain things with my daughter. There's certain deal breakers about that. I don't play about that. But, at the same time, being open-minded. It's all about balance. I keep feeling like I'm bouncing back and forth, but it's really, that's what it is. That's life. It's about balancing, controlling or control, and being flexible. And so it's really a journey, y'all. It's not easy. I'm still on this journey. I'm still on this path, and it's just getting better and better when I learn to just stop trying to control everything. And also, I'm not going to be around people that need to control me, because I like to be kind of like a free bird, a free spirit, or, I'm just, let me do what I got to do. Let me do what I want to do. And you do what you got to do, and we respect each other, and we going to be good. We going to be all right. That's how I am. And so it's really just interesting and really cool to have different differences, because it doesn't mean that we're beefing. It just means that we're different. It's something that out of the ordinary for me. It's okay. And then so the government is definitely controlling us. There's people that can try and control us, and factors that all in between. But then there's even like, okay, social media tries to control us. The likes and all that stuff, and making videos and reels. Look at me, look at us. We all doing that kind of thing. It's a wave of control. And that's just, I feel like how life is and how it's going to continue to be. And that's why we have to be so flexible. We have to be able to we have to be able to be open-minded. And if things need to be moved around, okay, that's cool. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not upset with anybody. I may have these feelings and emotions around it, and that's true and valid, and that's okay. But I'm not going to be like, I can't do this, and stuck in my ways. Like, nah. In years down the line, I want to be somebody who's like, that young whippersnapper is doing some things I ain't never was able to do, but that's okay, and that's cool. Versus, some of those people that are just so stuck in their ways and like turning up their nose at people doing things differently than them, or having different opinions, or just perspectives in general. And I don't feel like that's fair. I feel like people are uniquely designed on purpose, and we have to embrace that and accept that. I don't really like that whole normalized word because I feel like it's just too much, but really just accepting people for who they are. And you can try and influence folks as much as as you want and as much as they may want, and at the same time give good pointers and advice and stuff, but don't be a control freak. Don't control their every move and their every thought, because that's not your job. It's not your fucking job. And so I just want to encourage y'all, be flexible in 2022. Be open-minded. Be intentional about what you want. That's what I'm doing. It's not easy. It's tough sometimes. And you got to work through it. But, as long as you're going through it, that's ultimately what it is. And so I wanted to keep you guys, I did not want to keep you guys too long. I wanted to give you another intimate, short and sweet episode. So please make sure you follow BBM Podcast on Instagram. It's BBM Podcast _. Please make sure you comment.